Ciao Tifosi, and welcome back to the channel. Post-review match of Italy versus Turkey, the 3-0 win. Pretty excited to go over this with Graham. We're going to go over the very highlight of the, yeah, three pairs, as I say in Italy, three pairs for the Turkish people. So, fantastic game. We're going to go over the game very quickly, first half, second half, and then we'll tee up what will come next in the next rounds. Over to you, Graham.
Yeah, what a performance. What a performance from the Azzurri. Exceeded all expectations, especially for casual football fans that would have no doubt been watching this game and expecting a stereotypical, traditional Catenaccio performance from the Azzurri. Far from it for tonight. So we're not going to bore you. We're going to briefly go through what happened in this game and then basically give you our thoughts on how we felt watching it. So early on, we had Insigne with a great chance on goal. He had a 1-2 quick pass exchange, but he hit the ball wide, missed the target. It was that close. It really was close, but it was promising play from the Azzurri. And then not too shortly afterwards, I think it was on the 22nd minute, we had Giorgio Chiellini, the veteran at the back, coming up forward for a corner kick. And he had a free header, literally a free header inside Turkey's box, but it was saved by Checker. It was a great save, pushed it over for the corner kick, but the signs were promising. Italy were attacking. Turkey were, like we talked upon on the preview for this game, Turkey were very, very solid defensively, especially in the first half. They were a very, very tough nut to crack. But, the Azzurri kept plugging away. At no point did they actually panic or look like they were basically panicking and wondering to themselves, how are we going to score against this team? They had a game plan. They set to it and they kept at it throughout the first half.
Isn't it refreshing to watch a team that is organized, that knows there is direction, there is fluidity in their play, there is structure to their play? It's so refreshing to watch that. Just after a season that we've had at our club level, such a refreshing way of watching football. And I think the only shocker from the first half was VAR and the referee. I think they've had a bit of a shock in the first half. I mean, but generally, coming back to your points, I think Italy completely did the opposite that I was predicting, a 1-1 tight affair. Completely blew out that theory out the water.
We both predicted that. We both predicted a tight game, 1-1 from you, 1-0 from me, and we got the exact opposite.
No, it's interesting to see. I mean, what I found interesting was Spinazzola in the first half with link-up play with Insigne. They were deadly on that left flank, and they were exposing Turkey down that flank. And Spinazzola had a really good first half. Insigne, like you talked about that miss. It seemed he was slow off the starting point and off the markers there, and he was like a diesel engine. It took forever to get him going, but the link-up play was brilliant. Jorginho, his play of the game from the centre mid was wonderful to watch. Refreshing to see, a play like that in the Italian national colours. And you know what? You know who was pumped up for this game more than anyone else was Chiellini. That guy he was pumped for this game.
I told you he had a point to prove. He wants to go out and blaze a goal.
Fair enough. And we did say this in the previous class, right? Because Turkey are big, strong, aggressive game. They're going to play deep, which they did. They played 4 at the back. They had a 5 in the mid, and then one of their mids actually played almost like a defender, tracking back on Insigne. So we knew this was going to happen. It was going to be hard to break that. And you see Berardi, we talked about the lineup before. You see Berardi always coming in on his left foot, taking those shots all the time. So you could see something was happening. You can tell Mancini set up the team perfectly to play Turkey because he knew Turkey were going to sit back, absorb the pressure, and probably be a lucky 1-0 flip win or just play out a draw. So,
well, give yourself a pat on the back because you predicted that Berardi would start, and me here was saying Chiesa all day, but you got that one right. I mean, I think we pretty much got the starting 11 spot on your part, and the only one I got wrong was Chiesa. So it was more or less as we expected.
Yeah, and I think kind of key points on the first half. I think we were going to talk about the penalty shouts. I honestly, you and I talk about this all the time. My theory is always hand to ball movement, right? But you're going to probably highlight the Spinazzola incident, first one.
Yeah, so this happened. I think it was roughly like 17 minutes. So it was quite. Generally speaking, it was quite early in the game. Spinazzola gets in a great position inside the box. He tries to get a whipped cross in, and I forget the name. I think it was Celik. I'm butchering names already, but it hit off the Spinazzola, he whips across in. The Turkish defender, he's got his arm out. I mean, it's not deliberate. It's not a deliberate act
We've
to
seen it
block
given
the
in Serie
ball.
A. We've seen it given in Serie A.
That's the thing. That's the thing. So like this is my main criticism of VAR. Like VAR, the idea of it is brilliant. The concept, superb. But at the end of the day, it's controlled and automated by human beings. So you've always got that human error. So there's no continuity. You know what I mean? Where, like you said, we've seen penalties given for handball decisions like that in Serie A, English Premier League, every league pretty much, even the Champions League. So when you don't see it given in a big game like this, the opening game of Euro 2020, you're scratching your head and thinking, well, I've seen that given. Why is it not given? But
yeah, I mean, if you look at the first incidents when you had Berardi take the long shot, Berardi Locatelli, one of the two, but I'm sure it was Berardi, took the long shot and hit the defender on his hand. I mean, his hands were in an awkward position in front of him. So you think, well, that's a hard one to give. Well, that's a 50-50 in that situation. Serie A, penalty, regardless of what happens, right? Then that happened.
Especially if your name's Delict.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially if your name's Delict. Then you had Spinazzola, which was a blatant penalty. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, Graeme. I felt Korea all over again, to be honest with you. I thought, oh my God, this referee is having an absolute hell of a game. It's ridiculously, it's gone wrong. Then, to top it all off, Barella got brought down in the box. But no one bats an eyelid on that one, you know? So those, I think, were three key incidences. Let's say two. I think the referee had a bit of a shocker. I wasn't best pleased at half time. I was not pleased. Look, to summarize the first half, I think you could tell Italy were pressing Turkey hard. Turkey were playing deep. It was refreshing to watch Italy play such a wonderful game of football, right? I was speechless, right? You know, it was just refreshing. Remember, you've got to remember where we come from, 2017, the football we were playing to where we are now. And that's, I think if someone's watching and saying, well, hold on, you think you scored 10 goals. It's not that. It's the growth and the change of philosophy of football for what it was before, to the old coach, to what we have now with Mancini. So, you know, first off, like I said, summarize, I was happy, a bit frustrated with the decisions, but I don't know, what's your take on that first half, summarizing that one?
I mean, I was pretty calm, to be honest. I thought it was a great performance. I mean, you know me, I'm on Twitter every now and again, well, more than every now and again, and I saw some reactions, and I'm thinking, are you guys watching the same game as me? I mean, what's going on here? Italy were in control. I mean, Turkey maybe had 2 counter-attacks which came to nothing, but Turkey just looked like a team to me. Again, we touched on this in the preview about how solid defensively they were. They came into this game looking like a side that was happy to play for a draw. You know, they were parking the bus. At times, they weren't set up with a back five formation-wise, but off the ball, when Italy attacked them, they had a back five. They were parking the bus. It was almost like old-school Jose Mourinho was the manager. So I could see the game plan. And Italy were great passing. There was so much composure, so much calm, and they were just, you know, content to wait for their moment and keep pressing with the attack. And at half-time, I was expecting a goal in the second half. I wasn't expecting 3, but I was expecting eventually that pressure to build and break Turkey down.
Well, coming to that second half, right? So where the first half finished, because of that call that happened with the so-called penalty, the Italian players were a bit, flushed. They were getting angry, were getting a bit, vocal about it, right? So it was a bit heated then when the ref called half time.
Yeah.
Second half, we kicked off, which pretty much the first half. We continued with that pressing game. We pressed well. We played great football going out wide. Jorginho, I mean, he had a lovely that lead up to that goal, the first goal, that way he, kind of shunned out 12 players. It was just beautiful. It's, that first goal, we talk about, Berardi coming in again. He's going to cut on his left foot, crossed it. Now look, Demiral, the poor sod didn't have much choice. Look, you either have choice one, you let go, and Chiro's right behind you, and you hope he flusts his lines. Or you pray to God, you hit the ball and it hits the crossbar. But unluckily, it's, for him, it hit his chest and went into goal. So, and I was elated. And I think we merited that goal, that 1-0 up already.
Watching the replays, I did feel like Demiral could have took a swipe at it with his foot, but I'm far complaining from Demiral scoring an own goal to kick off things for Euro 2020.
Yeah. I mean, it was, it happened. He hadn't much of a choice. But what was interesting is I was worried that Italy would sit back now, because it was around about just before the 60th mark, right? And then they scored that goal, and I thought, oh, here we go. They might now sit back. But as you said, they kept pressing, and which I was surprised. They kept pushing.
New school Italy. I love it.
You said it.
Absolutely love it.
You said it, and you want to go through the second goal, I guess. I mean, it's another great team goal as well.
Yeah, well, again, Berardi was involved, and I'm going to mention that dirty word Twitter because, again, I've seen so many people criticising Berardi, saying, and everyone that's been watching, the previous two videos are fully aware. I'm a big Chiesa fan, but there was so many people calling for Chiesa to come into this game, and I'm thinking to myself, Chiesa's not going to make that much of a difference. It's not like we're bringing on, I say we again, but I'm a supporter of the Italian national team. It's not like Chiesa was like prime Messi or something coming on. He's going to beat three men and put the ball in the back of the net. You just had to stick to the tactics, stick to the game plan, and eventually hope that it's going to break through, which of course it did with Demiral's own goal. And again, it was Berardi with a cross to Spinazzola. Spinazzola has a good shot and goal. It's a deflected effort from the goalkeeper. He saves it, but he parries it out. And we were also talking about Ciro Immobile. Would he be able to step up and bring those goals to the national level?
Yeah.
He definitely did. He was in the right place. He was quick to react. 2-0.
Yeah, and he scored on his home turf, and it was a great goal again. I honestly thought when Berardi crossed, I thought, oh yeah, and Spinazzola took it down. I thought he fluffed his lines when he took the ball back. I thought, yeah, we go, he's going to pass the ball back. But he took a strike, ricocheted. Keeper made a meal of it. He should have either punched it outwards or hold the ball. Made a meal of it. And Immobile being almost Inzaghi-esque type poacher,
super people.
Literally hit the ball up top of the roof of the net, and we're 2-0 up, and now we can breathe. Yeah. We can relax. And that's what, at that point, I thought, now I've been standing now for nearly 70 minutes now watching this game. I didn't sit down watching this game. I can't sit down. Now I sit down. I thought, okay, classic Italy now. We're going to put the screws in, going to let Turkey attack, but we'll just fluff the balls out, waste time, go down. But was I wrong again? We just kept pressing. And I was like, this is a question I have for you. Do you think this is because of Mancini's time in the Premiership? This kind of don't give up, just keep hammering and tongue, no matter what, just keep going. Do you think that's a bit of an influence from the Premiership?
It's a good point, but I mean, Mancini's been around. He's been the manager of Manchester City. He's been the Manchester of Galatasaray. Was it him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been Galatasaray. Who was the other one? It was
Inter.
Inter Milan. I was thinking about, there's another Prandelli. Prandelli was also the manager of Galatasaray. But my point is, Mancini's been around, so he's picked up things from different leagues in different countries. But there might be something in that you're saying about he's picked up this sort of this constant attacking mentality from the Premier League. I mean, we don't want to live up to stereotypes or anything like that, but that is generally the way the Premier League in England works. It's just attack. So he's maybe brought that to the national team, but when you look at the players that he's got to work with, even us two, when we watch Serie A, it's no longer the place for defensive football. I mean, there's so many. I mean, as far as I'm aware, the past 2 seasons, it's been the top goal scoring league in Europe. So I think there's been a change in mentality over the years, which, to be honest with you, it's needed to actually happen, because so many times as a fan of Italian football, a team will go 1-0 up and then all of a sudden park the bus, and that's far too dangerous a mentality to have.
I mean, it's interesting to see how about confidence, right? Immobile scoring, that instills confidence into the team. Mancini, we have a good team, guys. We've got depth. You see some of the pundits in they were talking about, that surprised how much depth we have. And we talked about this. We talked about how we were spoiled both on the wings with Insigne and Berardi and Chiesa, etc. The thing is, I wasn't expecting that, and it was so refreshing to see this. And they continue. What was lacking in the first half was the final third play. Finish the game. Finish that play. You play wonderful one-touch football, and then just that final third wasn't happening. And then that leads on nicely to Insigne finally getting the goal he deserved. I mean,
some goal.
Beautiful goal. And you know what? It was the keeper made a mistake. put the ball out. Italy managed to control the ball, 3-touch pass across the diagonally across the goal, and Insigne was open on the left flank, came in, and a beautiful curl in, it summed up a beautiful team performance. There wasn't, who didn't really play well? Donnarumma, because he didn't play. What save did he make? I mean, I'm not, and that's not a critic, by the way. It's just I'm just a bit of banter now on Donnarumma. But everyone. I mean, you look at Chiellini when he did that last stop shot save, and this was when we 3-0 up, and he's celebrating like it's a goal. That's what I love about Chiellini. The kind of grinta that the team needs is like, come on, that third goal, it was.
I mean, Italy had so little to deal with because Turkey were, from the get-go, they were just playing for a point and a draw because Italy's the top opponent for them. But, Italy had so little to deal with that for majority of the game, I mean, Bonucci came forward and had a shot on goal. How many times do you see that happen in the past season or two with Bonucci at club level? And Chiellini looked like he was having a throwback to his early days as a left-back because he kept coming forward. So Italy didn't have that much to worry about from Turkey, attacking-wise. Like, there was one or two occasions where Turkey decided to actually attack and counter them, but other than that, it was straightforward for the defenders to the point where they're coming forward and having a go on goal.
And wasn't it funny how often Chiellini was up front trying to have a shot on goal? Chiellini, of all bloody people, it's... Yeah, look, to summarize that second half, I was very happy. I was very happy with the performance. First yellow card to Turkey, which was like due. And again, it's funny, it was attack on Chiesa, typical, But what was interesting for the second half is that Spinazzola wasn't being used as much, right? It was more Di Lorenzo on the right because that right back was struggling. For some reason, their left back was struggling. And they kept coming down that flank with Berardi all the time. In fact, if you look at the goals, they came down that flank, that side of the pitch. So, second half, again, if I were to summarize the second half, it was amazing to watch Italy play this type of football, right? I think what's happened is it's perked a few ears up. And a lot of people are okay, let's see what we do in the next games. But I think Turkey, like you mentioned in the previous podcast and in the previous episode, took 4 points of France, an awesome team. And they did it with Holland as well, and Netherlands, sorry. And they were a solid team, right? They came into this tournament 6 games unbeaten run, right? So.
And Italy just beat them 3-0. Didn't even concede a goal against them.
Yeah. So, and that's the first time Italy has scored more than 3 goals in the tournament in Euros.
So overall, as you can see, both of us are absolutely delighted with that performance, that result. Perfect result, 3-0, perfect way to start off the group. So the next time you see us, it's going to be basically a video on us, our thoughts on the upcoming game against Switzerland, I believe. Switzerland's the second opponent. So hopefully we're in good spirits for that one as well. But as far as starts go to the Euro 20, absolutely superb.
No, fantastic. We'll do the preview on the Swiss game for Wednesday. Probably be out on Tuesday, lead up onto that. But yeah, what a great way to start with a bang. With Bocelli singing Nessuno Dorma in Roma. Guys, 90s with the big balls in the back, 90s feel. For a guy like me, 90s football, I was in heaven. And to have, I'm going to go tonight to bed smiling, and I'm happy. So it's great. I'm sure in Roma now, people are celebrating, enjoying it, especially Ciro Immobile scoring on his home turf, which is, it's great. It's a great way to start the tournament.
Yeah, confidence this high. Sky high.
And let's continue with that. This is key, consistency. Okay, we don't expect every 3-0 every game, but let's build on it. So
yeah. Ciao for now, guys, and see you next time.